Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome into Great Awakener Ether Realm. My name is Kimberly, and I would like to apologize for not coming out with the astrology last week. I was very, very busy at work, and I just could not find the time. So I am going to do this reading from the 3rd of February to the 16th. If you want to maybe listen to it and reflect, see if anything resonates with what happened last week. I think, and if you could tell me about it, that'd be cool. Um, if it resonates, if it doesn't resonate, what have you. And if you don't want to listen to this week's, or excuse me, last week's report, you're more than welcome to fast forward to this week. Okay. All right. So we are going to start off with the Monday, February 3rd. Okay. The moon is conjunct Chiron in Aries, where it's making a square to Mars in Cancer. Now, Mars rules Aries, and the moon rules Cancer. Mars does rule Scorpio as well. Okay, it's the traditional ruler. So you have this mutual reception between the two planets, and you also have it squaring Chiron as well. Chiron is the wounded healer. It's been in Aries since 2018, and Aries is your 6th house of work, daily habits, health routines, anything that you do on a daily basis. Okay, basically fits into your 6th house there. Also, if you do sports, competition is also considered your 6th house. And please excuse my voice. This is the 8th reading that I've done, and my voice is like not doing the best. So I apologize for that. Okay, so 6th house, Cancer, is your 9th house of expansion. Okay, 9th house is all about expanding your horizons, learning new cultures, learning new languages, higher learning such as going to college, long distance travel. Okay, so there could be something going on, and Mars also is retrograde right now. It comes out of retrograde on February 23rd. Okay, so not too much further out. So it's just kind of simmering, it really, Mars really doesn't like being in Cancer, and then it's retrograde on top of that. So you may have been feeling some frustration with your 9th house, especially. Okay, and then of course it's squaring Chiron, and then the moon comes in. The moon acts as like an amplifier. It like reflects energies, like tenfold, 100-fold. It depends on the aspect. Okay, so, but since these two energies are in mutual reception, it will lighten the blow a little bit, and the energy will flow better. Okay, so something to do with your 9th house of expansion and your daily habits. Maybe you're looking into changing up your daily habits to possibly do some kind of goal. Maybe you want to long distance travel, and you maybe want to change your habits from maybe, I don't know, buying a latte every day to going to regular coffee. I don't know. There's so many things that maybe you might just want to be saving some money to do some long distance travel, so you change up your habits a little bit. It could be something small like that. It could be something more profound. Okay, maybe wanting to go to school, go back to school, and trying to change up your habits. Maybe changing your schedule around to be able to go back to school. Something to that effect. Also happening on Monday, we have Mercury trining Jupiter. Mercury in Aquarius trining Jupiter in Gemini. Aquarius is your home zone. You've had a lot of emphasis on your home zone lately. Your ruling planet Pluto has stationed in Aquarius now for the next 19 years. It was going back and forth for the last 2 years, and now it is there to stay. So you have a lot of transformation going on in your home and family sectors, okay? And then we have Mercury coming in to trine Jupiter. Mercury is the natural ruler of Gemini. Gemini is your 8th house of other people's money, debts, taxes. It's also sex, death, transformation. You are the natural ruler of the 8th house. So even though Gemini is quincunx to you, which is kind of a, it's not the best angle, it's not the worst angle. It's just kind of it's there. It's a creative angle, is the way that I like to describe it the most. It brings out creativity because it's a little bit uncomfortable. So it brings out your creativity to solve whatever, comes up. So you have Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, trining Jupiter. Also, Jupiter is going to go direct. It's retrograde and then goes direct the very next day. So if you saw my videos a couple weeks ago, the sun came in and trined Jupiter, kind of gave it some energy, and now the Mercury is trying to come in and give it some energy as well. Trines are those are the best aspects you can get. Okay? Again, please excuse my voice. We also have, of course, Mars trining Chiron. And then the moon enters Taurus, which is your 7th house of partnerships, whether business or personal. Okay? Then the moon comes in to make a square to your ruling planet, Pluto. So you have home and family, your 4th house, and then partnerships. Something's going on with your partnerships and your home and family. That's the best way I can describe it. Kind of thinking outside that box, maybe you might have, you might be forming some partnerships in your, maybe working from home, okay? But a lot of emphasis is like, your marriage partnerships and your family. I'm just going to throw that out there, okay? So that's the biggest emphasis on that, but it's not always, okay? Also, I just thought of this too. The 4th house rules the mother, okay? And the moon is the natural ruler of the 4th house, which is Cancer, okay? So the moon rules the mother as well. So you might have something going on with your mom, might want to check in on her, if that's your scenario, okay? If it's not your scenario, then just, okay, don't come at me. I'm talking to a lot of people. Okay, and then also on Monday, got a lot of stuff going on the 3rd on Monday. Venus enters Aries. Okay. Again, Aries is your 6th house of daily habits and routines. Venus does not like being in Aries. It's at its detriment, and it doesn't like being there. But it has to be there. So Venus rules Libra and Taurus, which is also your partnership sector. So you have a lot of emphasis going on with your partners and possibly changing your daily habits, possibly for the home and family. Like I told everyone else, every single planet is between Aquarius and Cancer right now. For the next, I believe April 18th is when Mars comes out of Cancer. But so all of the emphasis is on your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th house. All of it. Okay? Now, obviously the moon does go around, every month, but planet-wise, this is like people. This is your people zone, This is your home and family. This is your romance, children, creativity. This is your work, health, routines, going to work. This is your partnership sector. This is your 8th house of other people's money and sex and death transformation, okay? And then Cancer is your expansion zone. You can't really expand your horizons without other people, right? You know, knowledge comes from other people. So, the 4th on Tuesday, Jupiter goes direct. Jupiter has been in retrograde for the past 5 months now, and this is in your 8th house. Again, you're the natural ruler of the 8th house, so it's still, you know it. Jupiter is now going to come direct. Jupiter is, rules expansion. Okay, so you might have had a slowdown in your 8th house of, debts, sex, intimacy, transformation. It all would be internal. Okay, now that it's going direct, you can any ideas that you have thought of during these last 5 months, you can now start implementing. Okay. Then the moon squares Mercury, and going into Wednesday, we have a whole lot of moon activity. Okay, so we have moon squaring Mercury in Aquarius. Then we have the moon squaring the sun in Aquarius. Okay, partnerships, home and family. Then we have the moon sextiling Saturn in Pisces. Okay, that is at 17 degrees. So you got 16 degrees, 17 degrees. Mercury is at 12 degrees. Okay, and then you have the the moon sextiling Mars at 19 degrees. Then you have the moon conjunct Uranus at 23 degrees. And then you have the moon sextiling Neptune at 28 degrees. So that is 6 different aspects that the moon makes in one day. Okay, so you can kind of expect your emotions to be going up and down. Okay, the moon also rules Cancer, which is your expansion zone. So you could be learning a lot of this up and down, back and forth type of stuff. Take it as it is. But the moon is all in your partnership zone, and then it's aspecting your home and your children, romance sector. Now, if you watch my previous videos, I want to point out that if you're looking to have a baby, to create a baby, Pisces is your create a baby zone, your 5th house, okay? If you're wanting to, this is the perfect timing for it. If you are not wanting to, protect yourself, okay? All right. I'm just going to put that out there. And then, I've talked about this in earlier videos too, with the moon conjuncting Uranus. Uranus has been in your 7th house since 2019. You may have had some upheaval with partnerships, whether personal or business, and some enlightening moments. Uranus is the great awakener. It causes chaos so that you can find a solution, okay, to break through that chaos and find calmness afterwards, okay? So we then have the sextile to Neptune. Sextiles to Neptunes is real nice, real, ethereal. Can't go wrong with that. Things, should hopefully calm down after all of those aspects. Things should hopefully calm down. But a lot of emphasis on your home and family and your partnerships, okay, and your children. Okay. And that is pretty much Wednesday. All of Wednesday is just like boom, boom, boom. Okay? And then the moon moves into Gemini, where it sextiles Venus in Aries, and then it trines Pluto, your planet, in Aquarius. So all of this upheaval that happened here, it now is coming in to form sextiles and trines. Try to calm the waters down a little bit, okay? maybe you might have an upheaval with a romantic partner, and then come in and have a makeup session with them. You know, I'm just throwing out scenarios. Okay. Let's see. Then, of course, the moon comes into conjunct Jupiter. Again, it's direct. If you've had any ideas about your 8th house, possibly paying off debts, sex, intimacy, death, transformation, okay? That is what you rule, so there you go. It can now be time to start this, okay? Now, this did happen last week. Again, let's see, this would have been Thursday the 6th, okay? So if any of this is resonating with you, totally leave it in the comments. And, you know, that's how you learn as an astrologer, like more stories that you hear from people when certain aspects happen, the more I can put into my book of knowledge, right? And the more I can inform other people. Okay, 7th, Friday the 7th, Venus sextiles Pluto. Again, you can't go wrong with that. I've been telling everybody this, the story of Pluto and Persephone. And since you're a Scorpio, I'm just going to assume that you already know this story. But I'm just going to kind of paraphrase a little bit. Everyone always calls Venus and Mars the, the partners of the zodiac, okay? But there's a lot of emphasis on Pluto and Venus as well. Now, the story of Pluto and Persephone obviously isn't Venus, but this is where the evening and morning star story comes from. So, Venus is going to go retrograde on March 1st. It's going to kind of come up here near Chiron, and then it's going to retrograde back into Pisces for a bit, where it's going to hit where that conjunction was that I talked about a couple weeks ago. If you're into astronomy as well, if you like to stargaze, you may have seen that conjunction between the moon and Venus, but you know, you can't see Neptune without a telescope, right? So that's where astrology comes in, and astronomy. And like when I saw that conjunction between the moon and Venus a couple weeks ago, like I knew that Neptune was right behind Venus, you know, and that was profound to me, you know, whether I could see Neptune or not. So this was a very karmic point too, because of the North Node. The moon, the North Node, Venus, and Neptune all conjunct. The only time we'll never see this again in our lifetime, okay? Not like that. So Venus starts as retrograde March 1st, comes back into Pisces. The moon comes in, the sun comes in and overtakes Venus. So right now Venus is the evening star, and you can see it going down over the western horizon after the sun goes down, right? But when the sun comes in and overtakes Venus after it goes into retrograde, we're not going to see Venus for a bit, and then it's going to start coming out as the morning star and start rising before the sun comes up. So you have the evening star transitioning into the morning star, and that goes into the story of Persephone and Pluto. Pluto kidnaps Persephone. Her mom, Demeter or Ceres, depending on if you do Roman or Greek mythology, goes to Zeus, which is Persephone's dad, and Zeus comes up with a compromise with Pluto that Persephone will be in the underworld for 6 months and be in the upper world for 6 months. And when Persephone is in the upper world, her mom is the goddess of agriculture, and she spreads the seeds and lets things grow, and, you know, it's a beautiful time, you know, spring, summer. And then when Persephone goes down to the underworld, you know, mom gets mad and doesn't let anything grow, and everything dies. You know, it's fall, winter. And so that's a really, you know, so if you want to look at it like that, they can actually be the lovers of the zodiac as well. Okay, so when you have this sextile coming in my opinion, is just as powerful as when you get Venus and Mars as well. Okay, you know, Venus is all about love and partnerships and stuff, and Mars is about desire and passion, but Pluto is about sex, death, and transformation. Okay, so yeah, so I wanted to point out that story of Persephone and Pluto and how Venus is sometimes the evening star and sometimes the morning star, and it's also called Lucifer as well because of that story. Okay, so moving on. Let's see, where were you? Okay, 7th Friday, Venus sextiles Pluto. Okay, 4th house, family, and home and family, and 6th house of work and daily habits. Again, you might be thinking about changing your daily habits to maybe, help out a family member. Many different scenarios could go along with that. Then we have the moon coming in to do a whole lot of stuff again, okay? We have the moon trine Mercury, okay, square Saturn, and then trine the sun, and then sextile Chiron, and then the sun comes in and sextiles Chiron as well. And then the moon comes in and squares Neptune and wraps up that day, okay? So a lot of this I went over with already, but I want to point out the square between Saturn and the moon. This could be you're taking out a loan for a child, possibly to go to school, something like that. Possibly medical bills, because here you are Aries, and your health and your partnerships here. I'm not trying to confuse you, but I'm trying to put scenarios out there that could possibly happen during this time. Okay? And then, of course, Moon square Neptune. Now, I've told everyone else, oppositions and squares with Neptune can bring out the negative side of Neptune. Every planet has their goods and bads. Okay, every sign has their goods and bads. Neptune goods are spirituality. It's called the Great Dissolver. It dissolves boundaries. It's unconditional love. But then you have the not so great side of escapism, wearing rose-colored glasses. And unfortunately, escapism a lot of times will include substances, okay? So when you have these squares, especially with the moon being ruling emotions, you want to look out for that, okay? That's the best, And of course, it's also coming in to square the lunar nodes as well, okay? So that happens like Friday night into Saturday. And so just, keep yourself safe. Okay? All right. You might consume some substances and end up getting someone pregnant, like that, I'm not trying to make up scenarios here, but it's a possibility, okay? Like, just keep yourself safe, okay? Or, just don't drink and drive either, okay? Keep yourself safe. Okay, Saturday the 8th, moon moves into Cancer, where it squares Venus, okay? Expansion zone, okay? Squaring your habit zone, okay? So you might be looking up some ways to curb some habits, or to you might be learning more about how to expand on your work or your health routine, okay? This is all about, expanding your knowledge, okay? And then Mercury sextiles Chiron at 19 degrees, okay? Again, home and family and your habits. So a lot of stuff going, like your habits zone is kind of getting hit a lot. Again, the wounded healer is all about shadow work, healing your wounds. So, that's why, everything is on an axis, right? So Libra is your 12th house. 12th house is all about your subconscious, but it leads into your 6th house of daily habits. Why do you do those daily habits in the 3D? Because your subconscious is telling you to do so, basically. And we could be doing that without us even noticing, without us realizing. A lot of your subconscious things that you learn are from your childhood, So that's why this axes are so important, because they affect one another. Okay? And Libra, Venus rules Libra. Okay? So something going on with the healing of your daily habits, whether your work routine, your health routine, just how you speak to yourself, right? Anything that could be impacting you negatively. Okay? All right. Moving on to Sunday the 9th, February 9th. Mercury is going to conjunct the Sun at 20 degrees. Okay, and then Mercury will be overtaking the Sun after that. Mars also trines Saturn in Pisces, and the Moon comes in to amplify that energy. Okay, so perfect, water sign, water sign, water sign, right? Your ruler. So Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. It's also the traditional ruler of Aquarius, okay, which we have a lot of emphasis with your home and family as well. But Capricorn is also is your 3rd house of community, early learning, short distance travel, okay, and it's in Pisces. It's been in Pisces for the last 2 years, so usually you'll find the energy as an undercurrent type of energy until something comes in to triggers it. Now, already having a trine between Mars and Saturn is already significant, right? But then the Sun or the Moon comes in to amplify that energy. So, 9th house of expansion, higher learning, trining your children, creativity, and romance. Okay, so you might be doing a creative project that takes you to expand your knowledge on something to be able to bring it to fruition. I've hit on the children so many times in this reading that I'm trying to find any other scenario. Okay, some of you may not have children. Yeah. So a lot of people look at Saturn and Mars as two completely different energies, like the opposites, but they actually work really well together in this type of a scenario, in a trine, because Saturn is all about discipline, reaching your goals, you're tightening the belt, okay? Capricorn is the natural ruler of the 10th house of career and reputation, okay? And then you bring in Mars, which is all about passion and intensity, making a trine in Cancer with the Cancer's ruler, the Moon, okay? Just makes it that much more of a great energy. So it looks like you could be setting some goals. Mars is retrograde at the moment, but it's going to come out 23rd. So you could internally be thinking about working towards your goals, and you could, under the radar of other people, you might be, putting things in place. Okay, and then when Mars comes out of retrograde, that's another thing that happens, is that when it's going to come back further, and then it's going to come back and it's going to make another trine to Capricorn after that. Okay, so these trine aspects are, they're great. But then it'll be going forward, and then it's kind of like go time when it hits that trine with Saturn again while it's going forward. Okay, so that's a